We're back here at the Champions Classic. We are live with Woodward Academy after a hard-fought game against Pebblebrook. Coach, didn't get the result that we wanted out of this one, but your guys played really hard, played really well. Tell us a little bit about how this game went and how you feel the tournament went for you guys.
Well, first of all, we are always thankful for the opportunity to play. That's why you play in these events, play against talent likes of Pebblebrook. We knew it would be a tough matchup coming into the game, but I felt like our guys competed as hard as they can. We had the majority of our guys, it's their first time, getting significant varsity minutes. So getting that experience against a team like Pebblebrook is important for us down the stretch. So you're right, it's not the result that we wanted. We got a lot of things that we can grow on, a lot of things we can go back to the drawing board and improve on. And as I told him, I said, if you don't want to get better, then don't show up next practice. And I'm not worried about anybody staying at home. So we'll take a lot of lessons from this, and hopefully we keep playing well enough to get everybody back.
100%. Had a lot of arguments about your team last year, Coach. I said that you guys were the best team in the state, period, last year. How do you take what you had last year from an intangible standpoint and start to instill that to some of your young guys?
Well, I think that it's part of building a culture. I think, credit to the leadership from last year as far as setting the expectation, a standard of what it takes to work. You got guys like Ryan, who was able to step in under the leadership of Michael Woodward and kind of learn what it means to be a point guard in the program. And then guys like Will, who were part of it last year, able to lead the younger guys, make sure they're in the right spots, make sure we're competing to the level that's expected in the program. Knowing there's going to be some bumps in the road, and we're not trying to be last year's team. We got our own journey, but we do understand the expectation and what it takes to work hard and win games.
Now, Will, some things we knew that you were a good basketball player. There was no question about that. We saw that last year, how good you were. I want to know some things that you worked on, because this season I'm seeing one of the best players in the state for this team. Tell me some of the things that you worked on, you wanted to accomplish this season.
Last year I was doing a lot of playing off the ball. So this year I worked a lot on having the ball in my hands, because I knew I was going to have a Michael Woodward this year. So being able to get stuff for myself and also create for my teammates, I really worked on that a lot.
You go ahead, Mark.
I'm looking at you guys' schedule, and so far you guys been doing pretty well. What's some things? How can you use this event to springboard the second half of your season?
Well, again, looking at the schedule, I think we played the toughest region in the state. In order to get ready for those teams, we got to have that experience of guys who are athletic, teams that can shoot it. We need to see a variety of things so we know what to expect going into that region. Like I said, with a lot of players who hadn't played varsity a lot over the last couple of years, that's important. Yeah. So our schedule is what it is for a reason, and it's prepare you for that stretch run.
Ryan, can you just tell us a little bit about your role in the team, your position, your grade, and things like that?
So this year I feel like be the leader, point guard, basically facilitate around, get on the ball, where you need to be a good scorer, something the team out.
You guys had Walker Kessler last year. So what are some things that coming into this year that you had to change as far as your strategy and how you play?
Well, the work hadn't changed, but as far as the philosophy is concerned, little things like rebounding becomes more of a team effort. You don't have a 7-footer that's cleaning the glass. As far as scoring the basketball, you share the load a little bit more. We didn't have Logan tonight, who's had an excellent season up to this point. So we've just been, taking what was successful with us last year and kind of teaming together to replace what Walker gave us. And it wasn't just Walker. You got Emery, you got Ja'Cory, Mike, all those guys, Will from last year, that they had their own kind of niche in what we did last year. And so now we just identify, which players are going to step up and do that for us this year. A lot of times it's just collective effort.
Gotcha. What's one aspect of your team that you guys would like to improve overall? Whether it's defense, offense, free throws.
I know what I say. I'll let them answer.
I would say like we're down big deficit, just keep fighting. Make sure we're not don't
Finishing games.
Yeah, finishing games.
For me, I'll just say communication. Both ends of the floor. Once we get people in the right spots, game be a whole lot easier.
Coach.
Yeah, he got communication is huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're dealing with guys who returning versus newer guys, that communication piece is important. And when we communicate, we play better. When we don't communicate, it shows.
Ryan, I'll ask you a question. We talked about a little bit off air about Michael Whitmore and his impact on last year's team. What is it that I know you guys aren't the exact same player, but what is it that you felt like you were able to learn from him last year that you're trying to bring into this season?
He's always taught me since my freshman year. He's always been a leader to me. So just control the ball and make sure when you're up and down the court, don't turn it over and control everything. Be
100%. Will, I'm not sure if we talked about your recruitment previously, but what was the deciding factor of you deciding on that Belmont was the right place for you?
Well, they've been recruiting me since sophomore year, so they were the earliest one, and they stayed on me hard since. Then I went up there and toured around campus, and it just felt right, and their system fit me perfectly, so I just went. My good.
Great choice. Great choice.
Belmont's actually playing a tough Murray State right now. So as you are transitioning from high school to college, what are some things that they have been communicating with you to improve or work on?
For me, they're basically saying just being active. On both sides, rebounding the ball. They're saying they want to see me do a lot of that because in their system, they're going to have me playing different positions, three to four positions. So just being that versatile player because if people are not going to score. So just being that versatile and active player.
Sure. Guys, it was a pleasure, a joy watching you guys play. Love this year's team. I love last year's team, but I love this year's team too. Got some really good pieces on your team, Coach. Definitely a tough fight in your region as you get into region play in January, but wish you guys the best and on a great season.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Great.